Welcome to your Robbins Regional Wrap, your one-stop shop for all your Houston County news. I'm Megan Western. Each week we're taking you through what's happening in Houston County, Warner Robins, Robins Air Force Base, and your very own neighborhood. In the biggest international story of the week, the ongoing military conflict in Iran. And at Robins Air Force Base and in Houston County, some people worry about the potential impact on local service members and the community. Elizabeth Hunter went around town trying to get a feel of how Robins is feeling the recent escalations.
The conflict is an ocean away, but its effect is felt by the service members in our community.
Families are impacted by deployments and things of that nature, so that'll be my first thought. How are our families doing, and how will this impact the families?
Veteran Alonzo Sermon served for 12 years, so he understands the burden put on military households, but he says he supports any decision that keeps Americans safe.
But I do support America's efforts to keep us safe as citizens. That's really the primary goal, regardless of what we believe or how we believe.
Sermon says he feels safer knowing that Iran's supreme leader has been killed, but he worries about the long-term impact.
Now I'm just concerned about the consequences and making sure that we stay safe and accountable. Proper resources, clear communication and clarity from the military standpoint so that our troops can get in and out.
Veteran John Nichols served for 22 years and had 3 tours in Vietnam. He says he supports the strikes.
It's about time. Should have been done many years ago.
Nichols says Robins was most likely involved in some way.
Cargo coming in and out, all transports into Warner Robins and put it on C-17s, C-5s, and put it overseas.
Sermons agrees. He says even if no planes were involved, Robins intelligence units most likely were. He says whether you agree with the decision or not, he hopes the country can come together and support our troops.
At the end of the day, we're one solid group. We're a country, and we have to stick together for our safety and our family and our children and so forth.
You can keep up with the ongoing conflict in Iran and how it's impacting our local area, especially at Robins Air Force Base on 13 WMAZ. And the city of Warner Robins is warning folks to stay away from Walker's Pond after reports of alligators. City leaders say people reached out to about two of them, that is, in the water so far. City crews haven't confirmed the sightings themselves, but they are still warning neighbors to stay out of the water and keep a safe distance from the edge of the pond.
You got kids that be coming out here and fishing with their families and stuff. Everybody got to be mindful. Like, if there have been sightings of the alligators, then y'all for real need to come stand back.
And Houston County Sheriff's Office is investigating a school bus that flipped over on the way to school. Elizabeth Hunter spoke with parents who are concerned about their children's safety. Take a look.
Every week, thousands of parents rely on buses to get their kids safely to and from school.
We're entrusted with the care of our children in this community, and we take that very seriously.
The Houston County School District says on Wednesday, bus 2002 was taking 4 Quail Run Elementary students home around noon when the bus flipped over. Allison Keenum, director of school operations, says staff got on scene as quickly as possible to make sure the students were okay.
As a mom, you want those people that are in the care for your children to love them just like you love your own. And when we were at the scene, that's exactly what I saw.
Houston County Sheriff Matt Moulton says the cause is still under investigation. He says they are waiting on the results of an inspection to see if a bus defect was at fault. Keenum says no matter the cause, the district will reevaluate all bus safety procedures.
We do review our processes and our procedures in that situation carefully, yes. And that's in collaboration with our local law enforcement as well.
Keenum says for current bus safety, they use active cameras while buses are moving, plus a badge system that tracks students on and off times and bus assignments. She says their bus drivers meet all state and federal requirements and each year are required to have a physical exam, get recertified, and complete safety training. In Houston County, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Over the weekend in Centerville, a community event focused on health brought children and families together. A health and wellness community fair featured discussions centered on grief, anxiety, and stress and how those challenges can impact the heart. Representatives from Brown Mental Health, Encouraging Change, the Emory Cardiovascular Department, and the Houston County Health Department taught these topics and also connected folks with resources. Emory specialists also shared information on high blood pressure, CPR, and ways to protect your heart. But organizers say it all starts with taking care of your mind. Plus, a sweet new business is now open in Central Georgia. Duck Donuts officially opened on Watson Boulevard in Warner Robins. The owners say their open kitchen style gives customers a chance to watch their donuts be made. But what they're really excited for is for people to dig in.
Have a glass there where they're topping the donuts and they're making the donuts. People can watch as it's happening. You know, they're watching the magic happen, as they say. So they're experiencing it with us. It's very colorful in there. We want a welcoming experience for our guests to come in and just have fun.
If you didn't make it when it opened on Saturday, you missed out on a pretty sweet deal. Their first customer won free donuts for a year. But don't worry, they're also planning giveaways in these upcoming weeks as well. Still to come, gas bills in Warner Robins are causing alarm for folks who live there. We'll share what the city is saying about the problem. Plus, a straight from the heart story straight out of Houston County. A special prom is bringing students together. How the Partners Club annually creates an inclusive night for students with special needs. Thanks for sticking with us. Students across Houston County are picking out dresses, suits, and dance shoes ahead of a very special prom. The district is hosting its annual Partners Prom. It's a night designed for students with disabilities and special needs to feel seen, celebrated, and included. It's a story that comes to you straight from the heart.
This gym, usually filled with practices and PE classes, is where connections are built year-round. Students in the Partners Club spend their time learning to work together and show up for one another. 11th grader Braylon Mills is one of them.
I got involved because Miss Ellie Williams wanted me to come help out with her kids, and I just felt like it would be a great opportunity to give them, a good experience.
Mills says he spreads the word about this club to get more people involved. That inclusion is the whole point for brothers Xavier and Brandon Montford.
What inspired me to join is that, to make these kids feel like they are part of the school, to make them feel included.
These moments of belonging all lead up to one night. Last year's Partners Prom turned this space into a dance floor full of smiles, music, and memories. Dana Wiggins, Houston County's Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, helped launch the event nearly 3 decades ago.
I was thinking this week that has been almost 30 years ago that Ms. Mickey Stewart brought this vision to life. And it's such a full circle moment for me because now I get to serve in this role for the district.
Now her son Dalton is a partner in the club too. Teachers who sponsor the prom say it's more than a dance, it's a celebration of growth.
And for us teachers, I think it's a gratifying moment that we can just look around and see socially and functionally how much our kids have grown.
From friendships formed in the gym to memories made on the dance floor, Partners Prom is where every student shines.
Naomi Washington reporting that story. The Partners Club pairs students with disabilities with their general education peers. Through activities and events, friendship and respect form between those students. This year's theme for their dance is going to be based on Wicked, so there's going to be lots of pink and green out on the dance floor. Partners Prom started several years ago at just Houston County High School, but now students from all 5 of the Houston County high schools are able to go attend. And in another story that comes straight from the heart, for 10 years, a Perry thrift store has turned donations into essential aid for Houston County neighbors in need. Elizabeth Hunter went by the store to talk to the people who make it all possible.
A store that has become a lifeline for Houston County families.
I hope that it continues to help people that need it.
Since 2016, the nonprofit Women Reaching Our Community has used the Renew thrift store to help people who need it most.
We've had women that have run away from abusive husbands, house fires, all kinds of things like that. and they just can't get back on their feet.
Beth Topping is the manager. She says along with offering emergency aid, they run 2 food pantries. All 31 workers are volunteers, so all store profits go to operational costs and people in need.
We've been able to outfit part or all of a house from what we have at Renew. So that's really rewarding to me.
The store offers low-cost antiques, home goods, children's clothes, and more. Trisha Parker has worked at Renew since it opened 10 years ago.
We have helped numerous moms who've needed help. We've had help people with their electricity bills, rent for places, helping them when they were homeless.
Parker says none of it would be possible without the community's support.
We hope it continues and that God continues to bless it and that we will continue to be able to help more people in the community as the needs arise.
In 2025, the store raised over $85,000 for the nonprofit, which used it to help 154 families. In Perry, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
You can find that store over on Macon Road in Perry. They're open from 10 in the morning until 4, Tuesday through Saturday. And a Warner Robins man says a shocking $1,900 city gas bill left him searching for answers. What took so long to get it fixed? Well, Jasmine Lee has more.
When Christopher Wells opened his gas bill, he couldn't believe his eyes, far above his normal $200 to $300 bill.
And I was like, there's no way. It was almost $1,900.
What followed was weeks of calls and in-person visits to the city.
The city says either pay it or we cut it off. That's your light bill or whatever.
He documented his meter, took screenshots, and kept track of every usage detail to show the bill didn't add up.
This is what it was on that Monday. I come to Thursday, $59.82. It did not move in 4 days.
Finally, a city review confirmed an error, but Wells says neighbors shouldn't have to spend weeks chasing answers.
To take off from work, to kind of contribute this kind of time, like this literally took me 2 weeks to try to get resolved.
He wants the city to create a system that flags high bills and offers support before people are stuck in this same situation.
There's nothing to say that, hey, listen, we have concerns. We're going to come out and inspect some things and kind of check on some things to just make sure everything's okay.
The bill may be fixed, but Wells says this highlights a larger issue for people in Warner Robins, one he hopes the city will address. Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Jasmine reached out to the city's utilities department for comment, but we did not hear back. Meanwhile, Perry City leaders are considering a plan that could reset where and how city services are available outside current city limits. Elizabeth Hunter talked to Perry City manager about what this means for current and future customers.
City leaders are looking at a new way to increase revenue.
This recommendation would essentially be a shift away from current policy towards a more flexible service provision policy.
City manager Robert Smith says current policy says you have to be annexed into the city to use city water and sewer services. But he says this new recommendation would change that.
That would allow us to provide service to residents or businesses in our service area, but not necessarily in the city. And then also provide service in the unincorporated area.
Smith says if this passes, Perry could offer their services outside city limits. That could increase city revenue. He says the rate people will pay depends on whether they're a city resident, city service area resident, or an outside customer. He says he isn't sure what those rate differences would be.
On average, for cities or counties that charge rates to outside customers, those rates are 20 to 30% higher. We have no idea what our outside rates might come out to be. We have to complete an analysis.
Smith says council is considering this to help pay off the new $50 million wastewater treatment plant and to avoid raising utility rates on current city customers.
To be able to diversify the revenue streams coming back in to cover the costs associated with those investments. So that's why we're looking to be flexible relative to service provision.
Smith says this policy would not force people in Perry's service area or outside it to use Perry's services. It just makes it an option. In Perry, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Smith says Perry City Council may vote on this policy change in April or May. In a tragic case out of Peach County, a 12-year-old student was pronounced dead by suicide. Carmen Brown spoke to the child's family, remembering her impact.
Some people just make a room feel alive.
She was always the one to stand out.
Ava Little's family says she always lifted everyone around her.
She was such a light in this dark world that is truly going to be missed.
Her aunt, Paige Day, cherishes several memories.
Great memories with her in my car and her just us singing along to music. That was one of her favorite things.
But behind that light, Ava's family says she was being bullied. And on Wednesday, February 25th, the 12-year-old took her own life. She would have turned 13 this May.
If she was still here, I would, tell her, like, it gets better. It can get better, and we will deal with this, and it will get better, and everybody loves you.
Her cousin, Kaylee Jacobs, says Ava always made the people around her feel seen.
Is kind of self-teaching herself sign language, and she taught to me a lot about it because I'm actually partially deaf. I wear hearing aids. So she would come to me, okay, I learned this and that.
While Ava's family is keeping the details of the bullying private, they're gently encouraging more open conversations about how bullying can deeply affect children.
You just never know what somebody's going through, and the littlest thing can make the biggest impact.
Reporting in Byron, Carmen Brown, 13 WMAZ News.
Still to come after the break, a new incentive to keep people safe at Warner Robins City pools, how the city plans to get more lifeguards on the job and keep them there. Plus, a park in Perry got a facelift this week. We talked to city officials who say the renovations will improve Perry as a place to live. Stay with us. And Perry's Welcome Park got a colorful and musical upgrade. The city unveiled new flower-inspired musical play features and a new picnic table. It's all part of the Main Street Advisory Board's project to improve Perry's downtown outdoor spaces. Manager Alicia Hartley says additions like these help make the area more welcoming for the entire community.
And so this is something that we want to do, is create a sense of place for people and create a destination and make them warm and fuzzy feeling here when you're here in downtown. So this is just a small way that we can start doing that.
In addition to the new musical play features and picnic table, the park also offers seasonal plantings, a water fountain, and parking lot with quick access to downtown. And the Bibb County Sheriff's Office gave a special recognition to Officer Matthew Whitell. You may remember his name from the Warner Robins Police Department. He was critically injured while responding to a domestic call. Sheriff David Davis and other people on the Bibb County Sheriff's Office force said even though Whitell isn't a part of their agency, they're grateful to see his speedy recovery. They highlighted his resilience with a special plaque and donation.
From making sure I got to the hospital quickly and safely to everybody who participated in the escort home, I really cannot thank everybody enough. It truly makes me feel part of an actual family. I don't have much family left, but I know I have family in this line of work, and it makes me feel a lot better.
Officer Whitell says he is 100% committed to returning to police work. He says he's talking with Chief Wayne Fisher and his doctors about starting back part-time. When that will be is still unclear at this moment. And efforts are underway to try to make sure summer fun doesn't take a hit in the city of Warner Robins. The city's recreation director is pushing to increase pay and launch new recruitment efforts to head off a possible lifeguard shortage. Jasmine Lee has more.
City leaders say lifeguard staffing is a challenge across multiple pools and splash pads, and they are making a big push now for the 2026 season.
Summer fun depends on lifeguards, and right now there aren't enough.
The key is we have to pay them.
Recreation Director Preston Poozer says last summer, staff shortages forced the city's only pool at Fountain Park Pool to cut back hours.
There's a lot of competition in the area, not just for just being a lifeguard, but for working in somewhere else besides being a lifeguard.
Right now, lifeguards start at $15 an hour. Poozer is asking council to raise that to $20, hoping it will attract more teens and returning lifeguards before summer.
If we're short-staffed, we'll have to close. We'll have to limit the amount of people to come into the pool, and or close for the season.
Monday's discussion was only the first step. The goal is to double staffing from 6 lifeguards to 12. That matters because safety guidelines require 1 lifeguard for every 16 swimmers. With full staffing, the pool stays open and can serve up to 60 or 70 people at a time without cutting access.
We've been a nationwide shortage of lifeguards in the country for at least a decade. It's not a new phenomenon. Pay has been going up for all businesses, and we're competing.
City officials say they're confident this push will prevent last year's shortages from impacting pool hours. Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
City leaders will have the final say at its next meeting on Monday, March the 16th. And before we let you go, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening across the Robbins region. You can learn the latest city updates and upcoming projects coming to the city of Warner Robins. Mayor LaRhonda Patrick will deliver the State of the City address. That's happening Wednesday, March the 11th, inside the Century of Flight hangar at the Museum of Aviation. Doors are going to open for networking at 10 in the morning. The actual program is going to start at 10:30. Of course, it's free. Everyone is invited to show up. Plus, as America celebrates its 250th anniversary, you can celebrate with a dance. Enjoy a swing-inspired 1940s dance at the Wellston Center in Warner Robins. Go ahead and bring out your best patriotic red, white, and blue attire. There's going to be a live band, refreshments, and a photo booth for you to enjoy. It costs $20 for singles, $35 for couples. That's all happening Friday, March the 13th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Alrighty, that's a wrap on what's happening throughout the Robbins region. If you have a Houston County story you want to share with us, go ahead and email us at news@13wmaz.com. And make sure you keep coming back each and every week for your Houston County news and the stories that matter to you. Thanks for joining us.